Right. Good morning, everybody. Oops. Hang on 1 second here. Make sure we get lighting and all that fun stuff that we've got to do now that we're on screens and all that good stuff. So, how's everybody doing this morning? Can everybody see me? Hello, hello. Am I on?
You're good, brother. We see you.
Okay. My screen. Hopefully, you can hear me. My screen froze for some reason. So
you're back up.
The joys of rural internet here. All right. We got our guest of honor, Mr. Scott Mank. Scott, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing great, buddy. I'm always doing great. I love it. Man, you guys get me fired up, man. You get this music thing going. I got to get on this call like every week. I love it. I love it.
Good. Awesome. All right. Well, let's hit some leaderboards this morning. Again, I apologize. My screen keeps freezing here, so I keep thinking I am either not on or so. Anyway, if I ever go out, just somebody shoot me a text. But we're going to plow forward, and I'm going to cross my fingers that this thing holds together. So great to see you all. Friday team meeting, and we still got some folks connecting up here, running. Everybody's sleeping in this morning. All right, gang. Let's go ahead and hit some leaderboards. For the week, we've got, let's see, oops, let me go on the right page here. All right, week. And this is for the Dinwiddie and Menefee base shops. We have, oops, I just noticed an error. Okay, I'll work around it. We had Victoria Hayes, one application, $198, direct to Stacy Love. Stacy Love, one application, $426, direct to Donna Bates. Terry Myers, 4 applications, $2,307, direct to Stella Dinwiddie. Donna Bates, 2 applications, $4,190, direct to Spencer Cushion. Donna got edged out by Anna Phillips with 1 application for $4,235. Guess that's about a $45 spread there that Ayana just beat out Donna Bates. So great job. Ayana direct to Terry. Spencer Cushion, 5 applications, $4,854, direct to myself. And Sydney Lee leading this week with 5 applications, $6,271. Guys, that is a very strong, solid week. So great job, Sydney, and leading the week here. So it looks like we had Sydney and Spencer tied for app count, 5 applications. Let's move on to the monthly leaderboards, and this is the entire hierarchy, so including everybody and the Vetter agency. We're going to do top 10 because we've got 30 writers, so let's just do the top 10 on the month to date. As of this morning, we have Adam Patterson, 4 applications, $3,857, direct to Joanna Doyman. Derek Capito, 10 applications, $4,326, direct to Brad Higgins. Donna Bates, 3 applications, $4,925, direct to Spencer. Jenny Gray, 4 applications, $5,114, direct to John Paul Vetter. Lionel Anderson, 13 applications, $6,003, direct to John Paul. Ayana Phillips, number 5 overall in the hierarchy so far. Great job, Ayana. $7,308, direct to Terry Myers. Sydney Lee, 6 applications, $7,786, direct to Stella Dinwiddie. Salvatore Manzo, 5 applications, $9,243, direct to Joanna Doyman. Spencer Cushion, 8 applications, $10,108, direct to myself. Number 1 so far on the month, and this is still early in the month, obviously, a lot of room to grow, but Mr. Eric Sullivan, 4 applications, $11,885, direct to John Paul Vetter, leads the hierarchy as of right now. But again, plenty of time to make your month. I know we had a holiday to start out the month, and that tends to kind of get us off on a little bit of a slow start, but I also know we got a bunch of champions that go out, bust it, make it happen, work hard. And so we we will have some numbers rolling in as the month goes on. So, so we have, again, special guest this morning, Mr. Scott Mank. Scott, Senior Vice President with the company, has got several agencies besides ours in his hierarchy. And we had a conversation on Wednesday about several things, but we've been on a theme here lately of increasing our profitability, making sure that we're leveraging and increasing our results, because we have this phenomenal system that allows us to really just plug in and have a ton of success and have a track to run on. But as with anything, it's just like your vehicle. If you only if you only run it at in first gear, you're going to get somewhere, but you're not going to get there as fast as you could, or maybe as efficiently as you could. And so, there's a lot of ways to improve what we do and how we do it. And one of the biggest things that we can do is, again, improve our profitability with our lead system. Scott had a great conversation on Wednesday with the agency owners meeting, and talking about, how we can do that. Not only for those of you who are established. I mean, this is a call I love, because it's going to be applicable to everybody, whether you're a day one agent or whether you've been here for a while. And so, so go ahead and welcome Scott. Go ahead and have you.
I think we've lost him here. We'll give him a second to come back here. I want to let him know. Yep. Oh, I think we got you back, Chris. I think we got you now.
Am I back?
A little bit.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay. Let me do one thing real quick here.
Okay. I think we may have lost him, everybody. Well, I tell you what, I can do either a song or I could dance, but I'm not going to do either one. So we'll just talk here for a little bit. No, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit. We had a great conversation Wednesday, like Chris was saying. And really, this is a meeting for people that's been here a while, but also for you brand new folks. We've got some really great things going on. Especially we will talk about a little bit about, oh, there you are. Can you hear us, Chris? I might be struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, good. Yeah, there you go. We got you. Well, you froze up. You froze up, buddy. So jump in, Chris, when you can. Let us know. But like Chris was saying, what we're doing is we're going to have a conversation a little bit about what's going on with the new people that we're going to be doing right now. But also, it's going to help you folks that's been here for a while. And so what's really important is when we had that conversation, we talked about how are we going to work with our new people? How can we help them become successful, right? And one of the ways of doing that is not just say, hey, look, we got leads. Let's get going on these leads, right? Because we've got folks that are struggling a little bit on understanding how to do it. They're brand new, getting moving. And a lot of times, and it's unfortunate, we may have a new person that might be here for a couple of weeks, purchase leads, and maybe didn't make a sale, right? Stella, you know what that's like. Terry, you guys know, right? You're going to have a week like they're going to have 2 weeks. But it's really tough on someone who's brand new, who went through the licensing. Now they're excited to get going, only to have maybe 2 weeks that they didn't write business. The bottom line on this is it's all about the little victories, right? The little victories get us to the big victories. And so the conversation we've had, and I've listened to what Sarah and Jamie's been talking about, what they do. I've sat back and kind of thought about, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I know Chris and I, you and I have talked about it a while back, but I think what's important is we want to make sure we get these small victories. As new people, what we're going to do is we're going to help you get a really fast start. And what I mean by that is we want to make sure that we can get money in your pocket, sales, give you confidence that you're going to be successful in what you do, right? Confidence is huge. So whether you write an application on yourself, if you write an application on a buddy, whatever it is, right? You've done the application, you've made a sale, which is absolutely awesome. And the third thing is, one of the things you guys, and this is for the folks who've been here a while and building a team, Scott, I don't understand. I'm trying to get their contracting done and it's taken a while because such and such company can't get it through. Guys, here's what you do. You not only you get them the right business, maybe they write it on themselves or write it on a buddy, but then you send a paper app in, you send that to Mutual Omaha. Mutual Omaha will give them a producer's number real quick. That's what I did when I first started. My first week, I got production numbers from UHO and Mutual Omaha within that week because I forced the issue, right? If they see that you're going to write business, they're going to get your producer's number. It costs, I think someone might be needing
8, 5, 7, 9. This meeting ID not exist. Goodbye.
I don't know what that was. But anyway, so what we want to do is we want to get them all set up.
Chris, I would probably mute Chris because we're.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get that. Chris, let me see here. Can't get him muted. I think I got him. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we want to make sure that we get them all contracted. Everything goes smoothly, right? And that's how we can do that. So what we talked about is obviously is the seasoned new agent, right? That we know. And I've talked to a couple of people yesterday. I asked these two people, how would you like to have the expectations that you can have a 90% chance of success here? If I can show you how to do it, they're like, oh yeah, right. Okay. We talked about the seasoned new agent. 90% of the people who hit seasoned new agent has a 90% of being successful here. Every AO that's on this, in this hierarchy, we all had 6 applications. I checked it. I checked all of it. Y'all did it, right? You had at least 6 applications, 6 weeks, and you're all AOs right now, agency owners. So there's something to that. So what we're doing is for new people, we want to help you become an agency owner. That's what we want. I'm sorry, we want you to become a new seasoned agent. We're going to celebrate that very big, right? We're going to make sure you're going to win an award. You're going to be on a hierarchy monthly meeting. I mean, you're not only going to get an award from Jacob, you're going to get one from me. And on top of that, what this is going to help you do while you're trying to understand the business, you're writing business, you're getting it, you're getting the confidence. The beauty of it is you're making money. I always tell new agents, take that money and put it aside, right? So not only once you hit new season agent, and I hope that you're like, hey, I even know other people, right, that I can talk to. I got other friends I can talk to, right? And you can make more money doing that. If you become new season agent, you will get a substantial amount of money for lead credit. So you're going to be coming out of this thing with a nice amount of money that you can use towards your leads, and you can be very successful. Now, we talked a little bit more about this, right? And I think what's really important, and we're going to really touch on this because it's going to help not only the new people, but folks that's been here a while. If you're writing business with people that you know, eventually what's going to happen is, and that's the best, that's the biggest profitability way of doing things, right? That's how you become profitable. It costs you nothing, right, to talk to your friends and family. But that line can run out, right? It can. And we see that in this business. They'll have you talk to folks, boy, you feel good for 2 weeks, all of a sudden, end of the line. It's feast or famine, right? But there's a way of changing that, and that's getting referrals. And the best thing you do is referrals. When I first started in business, everybody, it was either the phone book or get referrals. Guess what I got good at? It wasn't the phone book. It was getting referrals. And I got good at that. I kept stats on that. And these are interesting stats. For every 5, if I got 5 referrals, I set 4 of them and I wrote 4 of them. That is an amazing stats, folks. So out of those, I typically will set 80% of them. I was hitting a 100%. I was at I think I was at 180%, 180 something percent on sales because I would do multi-sales in a household. Apps to how many appointments. I was way up there. I was about double, right? Absolutely amazing. My profit was amazing, right? What's really amazing to me is we don't do it. We will go out and spend $300, $400 a week on leads, which is fine because we know that's very profitable, right? But it's not very profitable a lot of times for a new person on their first 2 or 3 weeks, right? They may spend $300 a week for 3 weeks. Maybe they spent $900, and what do they think of? Oh my gosh, I didn't make a sale and I spent $900, right? Oh my gosh. And now they want me to spend another $300. That's $1,200. Oh my gosh, you know, the world's caving in on you. I get it, right? Especially when you need to start making money. And that is so important. We know, when I always talk about leads, I don't say buying leads. I talk investing in your income, right? And it is. It is an investment in your income. If it didn't work, we wouldn't do leads, right? But in the beginning, it'd be tough. And that's why we're talking about this. That's why we're talking about talk to your friend, family. Write those 6 applications. Our average premium is $1,000. So you write 6 of them, that's $6,000. Trust me, guys. You already will be hitting, you already have a 5% bonus, right? You're going to go up 5% because it's slingshot. But in the beginning, you'll get 70%, right? And there's an incredible great chance that all that's going to issue because you know them. But let's just assume that maybe out of 6,000, 4,000 of it, right? What's 70%? How much did you make? 2,800. Right? And so that's a nice chunk of change to put back and to be able to put into your leads. Well, you might say, Scott, I might need a little bit of that for bills. That's fine. But put some of that back for leads. But if you really want to really pump this thing up, like we were talking about earlier, is those people that you had a conversation with, those people that know you, that wrote business with you, that understand why they need this, do you think they're going to refer you? Yes. Yes, they will. But a lot of times it's the way we present it. It's the way we present how to get the referrals that we fail at it. Okay, Terry, I might have Terry go out, right? Have her go out and talk to 5 people and say, hey, go get some referrals. Terry might just go up there and say, hey guys, you know, I hope you were happy with what I've done. And I do talk to people on a daily basis. And I was wondering if you might know anybody that might be interested in insurance. Do you know of anybody? All of a sudden, Terry's standing and she looks at these people and it looks like people with this, it's like deer in headlights, right? They're like, I know nobody, right? And trust me, guys, if you would do that to me, I mean, Terry, if you were a car salesman and you looked at me and said, Scott, do you know 5 people that like to buy a car? I have no idea. I mean, I just freeze up, right? I don't know, right? And so here's the sad thing about it. Do you know how long the average time an agent takes to ask for a referral? You know how long it is? Less than a minute. Less than a minute. When I used to do it, because it was feast or famine for me, I called it my second sale and I couldn't wait to get to it. Even if I didn't make a sale, my first sale obviously was to sell the product, I still asked for names, right? Even though they didn't buy, were they happy with what I did? Did it make sense to them? It didn't make sense to them now to do it for themselves, but you might know someone who does, right? That's what I did. I'll tell you guys, and I'm going to brag a little bit. I'm going to. I used to get so many leads, so many referrals, that I would seek out one of the best agents in the agency then, and I would go up to them and say, listen, I'll give you some of these and we'll split the business. I would have that many of them. What a nice thing to have, right? And I would hand it off to a good salesperson. He'd give me half his business. But that's how good I got at it. I had to, right? So now that you get a good idea on this, you know, Scott, that makes sense. You're telling me, yeah, 4 out of 5, setting them. Yeah, I can do that. You're telling me if I get 4 appointments, I'll sell 4. Oh yeah, I can do that. But how do we get there? And that's the part that we need to discuss today. And so once again, we got to throw this out of the window, folks. Don't become that stuffy insurance guy when you start asking for referrals. Don't do that. You know, there's one way that I will show you how I do it, and it works, but I want you just to have a conversation with them. And trust me, it's not a minute that it takes me to talk about referrals. It might be another 15 minutes, maybe 5, right? I don't know, but typically 15 minutes. I take my time with this, and I got good at it. And so there's one thing that I've got here. I can bring it up. I think if Chris can make me co-host, I'll bring it up. Something that we used that was very simple here at Symmetry that a lot of people were very successful, and then they quit using it, right? I don't understand. I don't understand why. But I'll make sure that we look at this at the end too. It's a little form that works out excellent. For some of you folks that just say, hey, Scott, I'm not real good at doing it the way you're doing it, but hey, there's an easier way to even do it that works very, very well. But one of the things, and Chris, I'd love to have you jump in and give some of your ideas and what you've done on referrals, because I know you've worked them. But folks, what you want to do is you want to just have a conversation with them, right? And I've been picking on Terry here, so I'm just going to keep on picking on Terry. So, you know, if I came up to Terry, you know, and I would just say, Terry, I'd say, you know, Terry, are you happy with what we've done tonight? Do you feel really comfortable and really happy with the coverage you have tonight? Do you feel like this is going to help your family? Absolutely, right? Well, fantastic. Well, you know, what I love to do is I talk with a lot of folks, Terry. I truly do. And I really love to protect families, make sure they're protected. And one of the things I like to do is just take some time and sit down with you, like with yourself right now, and just ask that maybe you might know some folks that might be interested in insurance. Now, right now, you're probably thinking, I can't think of anybody. And I understand that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to help you, Terry. I'm going to help you find people that you're going to be proud of helping them be protected like yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you a few questions. So Terry, and then when I do this, folks, this is what I do immediately. And you can do this on Zoom, right? You can take your paper out and say, well, excuse me for a minute, I'm going to put down a couple numbers in, and you start writing down 1 through 10, right? And so I would write 1 through 10. I'll say, okay. And they're thinking, oh, he wants 10 names, right? And I say, so let me ask you something. Terry, if you was having a barbecue next weekend, who would you like to invite to that barbecue? Now, that is so much easier than me saying to you, okay, do you know anybody that might be interested in insurance, Terry? Right? What I, you know, by saying, who would you invite to the barbecue? Guys, I use this all the time, and I would get more than I even wanted on referrals. They'll go, oh, yes, Cindy and Tim. Cindy and Tim, I would definitely invite them. Why would you invite them? Oh, they're a crazy group. They're a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Also pretty active, huh? Oh yeah, you know, Tim, he does this, that, and the other, and she's, oh my gosh, she's always doing something. Oh, that's great to hear. They got a family? Yeah, they got 3 kids. Oh, that is absolutely great. They sound like a fun group. They like you guys are awesome. So, and while they're telling me the names, I'm writing them down. Got 3 kids, Tim and Cindy. I got, you know, they got 3 children. I said, well, how old are the children? Are they in school? Oh yeah, I think they're what, 8, 10, 5. Okay, great. But then I'm asking a few things, but I don't get too deep into it, right? Because I want them get a little bit of information, but keep moving on the names. You can always get the names and then come back and be more specific on each person, but get a little bit, right? And I'll say, okay, then you got Tim and Sally there. Who else would you invite? Well, you know, I would invite so-and-so. Okay, yeah, he's a crazy guy. What do you mean? Well, you know, he's 72 years old. Oh, okay. Yeah, he likes, and boy, he likes to party. Oh, he's a drinker, huh? Oh, yeah, he likes to smoke and that. Okay, you know, so I'm getting an idea of people that you're going to invite, right? But once again, and I'll say, well, what's his name? Yeah, it's Tom. Okay. And so and I don't even ask him for the last name. Just give me a first name, Tom. I'll fill that out later, right? So they say Tom. I'll get a little bit of information. Anybody else at this crazy barbecue? Sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, you know. Well, oh, you know what? And all of a sudden they'll say, well, wait a minute, we didn't think about so-and-so. Oh yeah, so-and-so, Rick and Cindy. Oh, great. Yeah, they're neighbors of ours. They're just right across the street. That would be great. That's another, folks. I would do this too. You know, I usually say barbecues or things like that. But a lot of times I say, man, if you have a block party, If you had a block party in your neighborhood, who would you invite, right? And you can do that. And they may have a few people, and then you can say, well, matter of fact, that block party, if you had a barbecue, who would you invite, right? But it's just asking those, put them in a realistic situation. Don't put them in how many times, Terry, have you been asked, who do you know what would like insurance? This is probably the first time, right? I mean, you don't get that, right? And it's just like a bam, you get hit. Like I said, if someone would do that to me, I'd be the same way. I'd be the same way. And I watch people when they do these. I've had people from roofers to siding people, to all that would just say, hey, you know, if you really appreciate the way we did this presentation, if you know of anybody who would love to go through this, you know, I'd love to give names. First off, I went through a half-hour presentation I really wasn't crazy about, so am I going to give names or not? I don't know, right? But I've had a guy who sold meat, right? Who asked for referrals, and the guy was awesome. And he got referrals from me because he knew how to make me think. He got me thinking, right? And this is the same way. This is the same way. So ask those certain things. It could be anything. I mean, anything that you do around the house. I've done this, you know, because we play cards. You know, and I would say to the husband, hey, if you're playing cards, you know, who would you like to play cards with? Oh, we do play cards. And I've had that happen. Oh, really? Yeah, you know, so-and-so, so-and-so. And just, look, guys, just don't make it a hard thing. Just simple things that maybe you do, right? Things you do. Like my wife goes and plays pickleball. And trust me, I would say, and around here, it's a big deal. Pickleball is a big deal in Florida. So if I was out there right now, hey, you know, if you guys were playing pickleball, you know, who do you play pickleball with? You know, who would be fun for me to meet? You know, I always say that, who'd be fun? Who'd be, you know, well, I don't know if so-and-so's fun, but, you know, she does need to cover her home. I love things like that, right? I mean, I love when people will just tell you everything. They will just go through it. Oh, yeah, Scott, you know what? Insurance would be great, but let me tell you, I hate to say this, but, you know, she's overweight, you know, she's got a little bit of high blood. Half the time I know what their issues are before I even ask the people. They tell me, right? They're the greatest people to have to give you all the information. There's not a lead out there that can be better than that, right? I'm getting all the information about the person and I haven't even talked to them yet. We get that a lot, right? So once you go through it, now, once again, you know, on Zoom, I would say, well, you know what? Typically, I'd love to, you know, be able to get at least 10 folks. It looks like we got 5 right now. Oh, you know, and you want to make them feel like, oh, you want 10. So they're trying to get 10. They'll say, well, Scott, I'm so sorry. I can only think of 5 right now. Hey, I understand, but I'll be getting back with you, you know, in a week or so, make sure everything's going well. Make sure you guys don't have any questions or anything like that. And maybe you can think of some then. Oh, that'd be great, Scott. That'd be awesome. Okay, great. And so what I would do is I'd give them a call and say, you know, Scott, we thought a couple people. They will. I'll get a couple every time. Now, guys, then what you want to do is don't end it there. Oh, don't end it there. I was fantastic at giving out cards, right? Not my card, but I would send out Christmas cards, Easter cards, Thanksgiving cards, birthday cards, right? Every time I would do that, I'd send out a Merry Christmas card or something like that, and I would send it out to them, and I'll say, hey, I hope you have a great Christmas. As a matter of fact, you know, I'll be thinking of you on Christmas. I know you'll be, you know, your family, it's going to be great. But even, you know, I helped your family. I'm so happy that you're happy that I helped you out. Here's a card. If you could fill it out with a couple people that maybe, you know, you thought about, or maybe you're thinking about this Christmas, that I can help. And I would literally have a card as big as our business card, and it would be on there, referrals, right? Or I changed it from referrals. I was putting on there, oh, what was it? I know I've got an old one. Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get it out. It was something families. I had something really nice on there, right? I'll get it out, make sure you get it. And then I had lines on there, and they would fill these cards out, and I would have, and they would send it back to me, right? They would do that. Now you probably just do text or email or something, right? You don't have to do it that way. I mean, you can email Christmas cards now, right? But it worked. And the one that was really awesome was the Thanksgiving card. I would get so many responses from my clients going, I've never gotten a Thanksgiving card before. That is great, right? And never. I'd send out Easter cards, birthday cards, everything. They always responded to the Thanksgiving card. It was like a big deal. I never got one. That is amazing, right? So those are things, if you want to be really proactive on getting referrals, folks, that's how you do it. And what you do with these folks, it's amazing to me. It's amazing. They become programmed to do it. Some of them do it for the fun of it. And the ladies are like that. I love what the ladies, they'll go, hey, Scott, just want to let you know I got 2 more people who'd be interested. And then I try hiring them. I truly do. I mean, if they're that good at getting referrals, why not try to hire them, right? Stella, you're awesome at talking to people about that, clients, right? And so if they're doing that why not hire them, right? But back then, you know, they would send them to me. And that is how I was really successful in the business, because of referrals. It made my life easy. It made my life easy, and I was consistent. But once again, we've got leads, but in the beginning, guys, and now, all you out there right now, Stella, Terry, you know, some of you that I can see on the screen, you guys got clients right now that you've had for a while to go back on, right? You know, and have conversations with them. That's why we do annual reviews. Why do we do annual reviews? It's not just to do annual reviews. It's there to either write another piece of business or get referrals. That's the key. That's another thing we miss out on, folks. We're always trying to get clients, but we never go back to the existing clients who already bought from us. I think you all know the numbers. You know, when they buy from you the first time, the chance of them staying with you is 72%. They buy from you twice, it's 84%. They buy from you 3 times or more, you have a client at 98% that they're going to stay with you. And do you know that a client will buy from you at least on average 5 times? Why are we missing that? Why are we missing that, right? And I think a lot of times we get scared. Ooh, if I call them, they might not want to keep the product. Folks, they're calling the company. The company's right now calling these people and writing business. And you're getting part of that, right? Why don't you get all of it? And when you do that, you're asking referrals. Yes.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. May I just make one comment real quick regarding your referrals? And I'm so happy you brought this up, because Sydney Lee, who last year in all of your hierarchy, who had a PPL of 1,100 and something crazy like that,
yep.
It's because of her referrals. And this past week, she wrote over 6,000, and more than half of it was based on her referrals. She'll go through and she will call the people. She'll just pick like 1 or 2 or 3 people at the end of the night, and she'll call them every, you know, whenever she can, whether it's every night or whether it's once a week. And if sometimes if her week's not going her way, those people will come through to her.
I'll tell you what, if you're a type of person that's squeamish, a little bit shy, scared that someone might say no to you and it could ruin your day. I feel like, Chris, I feel like I'm doing a commercial here. No, but no, seriously. I mean, if you're that kind of, I'd be doing referrals. There's nobody nicer than somebody you know. And here's what, and then you're going, well, wait a minute, Scott. I know what you're saying. I'm talking to a friend and family, you know, but I just don't want to force them in anything. Don't, guys, get over that. Get over it, right? There's family members in my family that are in great shape because I talked to them about it. And one of them is my mother and father. And so that'll make you change your mind. Trust me on that. But the thing is, guys, don't be that way, right? If you do this, I've done this in my beginnings. You'll love this. In the beginning, when I was selling, I would call friends, right? And I say, hey, you know what? The reason why I'm calling is I started a new business and I'm trying to get good at it. And really why I'm calling you, Stella, is I'm just asking if you can help me on something. If you don't mind, if I can I would like to do my presentation and just kind of let you critique me and see how I did, but I'm just trying to get good at this. Would you mind helping me out? No, not at all. Guys, you have no idea how many times I've done that and they bought. The funny thing about it was I've been there for 5 or 6 months and I still told them I was new in the business. Can you help me out? Right? You know, it's whatever it takes for me to have that conversation with them and change their lives if something happens to them. Right? But don't be scared. Don't be scared to talk to folks. Right? I mean, if you don't talk to your friends and families, someone else will. And I think they'd rather talk to you. When you get to the point where you think, I don't want to bother them, and then you find out someone passed away in that family, that hurts. It hurts. I was never going to go through that. When my father passed away, first thing out of my mother's mouth when we walked away, he passed away with me and my mother there in the hospital. We walked out. She didn't say a word, which I'm a talker. I get that from my mother. She didn't say a word all the way out to the parking lot. She turned around and stopped. And she said, Scott, I just want to say to you, thank you so much for talking to your father and getting that extra life insurance. And I said, yeah, Mom. You know, and she goes, do you know why he wanted that? Because my dad was that way. You know, either if there's a reason for something, then he'll do it. I said, I don't know what it is. He goes, he wanted that extra insurance so I can buy a brand new car. These people have never owned a new car in their life, right? He wanted to make sure that she got a brand new car. And that way, when she goes to work, that she'll never have a situation where the car breaks down on her. That was his wishes. And when I went out with her, she bought her first brand new car. She goes, boy, these things smell good. You know, and it was so funny. And she got that new car. She had that car, I kid you not, folks, for 20 years until she retired. And she ended up giving the car to my brother, and he uses it as just a second car for his work. He's a construction guy, still runs. Those are the stories that will get you. And that was my mother. And so, and then she's set up really good with the insurance. She doesn't have to you know, she told me this, and I know the statistics on this too. She told me, she goes, you know, Scott, she goes, I loved your father. He meant you know, they've been together for 40 some years at that point. And she goes, you know what? I'll never need or want or have to have anything to do with a man in my life because I'm set. She was not against men. You gotta know my mother. But she goes, I don't have to do that. And now she's 84 years old, very active. And half the time, I don't even know where she is. She's out doing something. But she can do that now. She has that independence. So folks, that's what I'm saying about that. Don't have a fear of talking to people you know, because they're not gonna be upset with you. If they're saying, yeah, come on by, or if I'm doing a practice thing with them, like, you know what, Jim Pine just came down not too long ago, buddy of mine for years. I said, hey, Jim, I want to talk to you about this stuff. I just want to practice this, talk to you. It's a new product. And he goes, Scott, you know, I could use that. He goes, I've been looking for something like this. You know, he works for the Air Force, Scott Air Force Base. He's a civilian there. But if he passes away, his pension that he gets, Connie gets zero. He lose that whole pension. She didn't get half for nothing. He goes, that really worries me. So what we do is we put a plan together that if he passes away, that this is going to give her the full amount of what his pension would be if he was, you know, alive. And he says, Scott, thank you so much for this. And so that's what we do, folks. But I want to talk a little bit about that. Sometimes we talk about the neat things that we can do here and how we can get referrals or how we can talk to people. But then we stop after this is done and over, this Zoom, then we're like, I hate to bother them. I hate to do that. But then, you know, just you're a friend, and that's what friends do, right? So, but once again, on the referrals, guys, be able to do it. Have a conversation. Just have a nice little conversation. And I got a little puppy here. She's being a little weird. I'm sorry. I apologize. Just have that, you know, just ask them questions. You know, give an example, Chris, right? Chris is on here right now. I can think about what Chris does, right? Where does he go? You know, maybe he's in a different, you know, if I've known him good enough, maybe he's in a club, or maybe he's in certain things, right? And I'll say, hey, you know, you got the guys here at the club, you know, if you guys went out one evening, you know, to a baseball game, who would you invite? Or whatever it is, right? They're going to come up with something, but it puts them in a natural state. It gives them something that they can relate to. So I guess my question to everybody here, and I kind of, who could do that? Who thinks they could do that? Have that conversation with somebody, right? So I think it's not that hard to do, but I would love to challenge you all to try it. You know, the key, guys, you're gonna think this is goofy. You probably said, Scott, you're lying, but this is the truth. One of the things that's hard about doing getting referrals in the beginning, you forget, right? You forget to get referrals. And so I was doing that in the beginning. I go, dang, I forgot my referrals. You know, you just don't go walking back in the house again and do that, right? Now I could when I bring out the policy, but I wanted them then, right? After the sale. I kid you not, this is what I did, guys. I truly mean this. I took a piece of yarn, and I literally tied it around my finger when I went in the house. So when I went in there, I would remember, and typically the client would ask me, Scott, why you got that around your finger? What is that, right? I went, oh, that's interesting. I said, it's a little reminder. And they go, what do you mean a reminder? I said, a reminder. And I'm going to go through this with you right now. It's probably one of the biggest reminders. It's going to be really important, not only for you, but for people that you know. Like, okay, I kid you not. That's how I would remember to do referrals. I got to a point, I was just talking to, Chris, I don't know if I told you about this. I was talking to someone about it, where not only did I put that yarn around there, I would put like a fancy yarn, something that was bright, right? I did that lime green thing, you know, electric green or whatever they call it, so you can see it. And I would tie it on my front, my forefinger. And they would say, why do you have that on your finger? And even if I was going to remember, I was hoping they would say something, because then I would go through that spiel like that. But it's whatever works, guys. It's a business, right? People who are successful in business always think outside the box. These are just little things that I love, thinking outside the box. But those are little things that happen. I think there's some people on the team that tell me a couple of things that they do, which is absolutely amazing to me. I love it, right? And I'll steal it. I'll steal any good idea. But that's so. Is there anything at all, Chris? Is there anything you'd like to say, or is there anything anyone else would like to add?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Scott?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay. So I joined by phone.
No, I can see you too. I can see you.
I tried to fix the internet this morning, and I think I made it worse. So anyway, that's so because of that, I botched the intro, and but thanks for picking up the ball and running with it. But yeah. So as I was kind of leading into that, you know, one of the things when we had the conversation this last Wednesday, you know, if you heard, you know, for those of you who were on the national call on Wednesday, I can't remember if it was on the national builders call or just the regular national call. You know, the founder, I think it's probably on the builders call, because the founders had went to a conference, you know, with a bunch of other big insurance companies, and they were talking about, you know, just how far behind the curve all those companies are, you know, and they really are. I mean, from a technology standpoint and, you know, and getting up with modern times. But one of the things that struck me as we were having that conversation, Scott, Wednesday, is one of the things that the old school, if you will, has always been really good at, and this is kind of what sparked this conversation and brought you on today, was they had to be very good at getting referrals, because that was their bit. They didn't have leads. Now, you know, so in my mind, this is taking the best of what we have today with what worked, you know, in the past, and put those together. And how much more effective and powerful would we be if we take some of those things that did work? In other words, you know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Meaning there are some things from the old school that are still very applicable and effective. And in fact, one of those is referrals. So if we look at our lead system, yeah, it's great that we've got people reaching out to us, people who are asking for our services. That's huge. That cuts down on a lot of marketing time. But what if we were to take that and leverage that and turn every lead into 5 clients? So instead of getting one client or one household or one sale opportunity, you know, we got 5 out of that. And the reason that's important is because, you know, there's the Sandler training organizations, a well-known sales training organization. It's been around for decades. But they did a study a few years back, and they found that 60% of clients would give a referral if they were only asked. That didn't say anything about how they were asked, didn't say that they had to be a special script or, you know, anything like that. It just said 60% would give a referral if they were just asked. And you know, behind that statement is obviously the fact that, unfortunately, too many people don't ask. And I think, you know, there's a number of reasons. One, I think you touched on it. You know, there's a little bit of, you know, not sure how to do it. You know, even again, the Sandler study basically just said just ask for referrals, and 60% would you know, go ahead and give a referral based off that. But there are ways, obviously, that we can be more creative, more effective, you know, more you know, but more in tune with the client in asking for those referrals. And so some of what's prompted this conversation, because you know, Jerry Choate sent us an email after that call the other day, and It's basically that the biggest indicator of a firm's success is what percentage of the clients are referrals, because clients who are referred tend to spend more, tend to be less price sensitive, have fewer objections, and be less risky. So what if I could tell you that, again, we have this great lead system, but with our lead system, we still get rejections. We still have people that have a tendency to balk at prices when we give them, a price, object when we try to either set the appointment or present. What are you going to eliminate large portions of that? And the way to do that is to take this phenomenal lead system that we have that works very, very well. And obviously, you saw the numbers this morning. We look at the hierarchy this week. The entire hierarchy wrote over $100,000. No, I'm sorry, this month so far, and this is only the second week. We've already done over $100,000 of premium. So obviously our lead system works. But what if that 100,000 turned into 200,000 or 300,000 just from people taking the time to ask a question? Who do you know that recently bought a house or bought a house in the last 6 months? Or who do you know that's retired? Just retired. Think of it. Think of all the business that we're walking by, especially right now where the market is crazy. I looked this morning and the market is absolutely tanking. How many people would we pick up just from the question, who do you know that just recently retired and, maybe is a little bit worried about what their retirement's going to look like from their 401k, that they're having to rely on now. The point being is just asking a question or asking a series of questions. And some of it I realize is, again, the training piece of that, making sure that people have a good track to run on and again, something that they can, that they can do on a consistent basis. And we're going to provide that. Some of these materials, again, hat tip to Jerry Choate for sending some stuff over. I'll be posting that up on Crew. Guys, pay attention to that, download it. And here's the thing. Scott, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think the biggest reason why people don't ask referrals is they're just too scared. Whether it's a fear of rejection or a fear of, coming across as too pushy or coming across as, even just asking for something. In fact, one of these training resources I pulled up is, it actually addresses that. Don't feel sheepish about asking for referrals. There's nothing pushy about it. The question you ask may be the difference of one of their friends getting covered or not. We have to look at it as we're providing a service, we're providing help, and you asking that question may put something in place that's going to help a family that, a week, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years from now is going to go through a tragedy where had that question not been asked, they would have been in far worse shape than they will be once you're able to help them out. But that's kind of my thoughts around what you were sharing.
Yeah, it was interesting on why people really don't ask for referrals. Like I said, I did it a lot, and probably with me, I think more the fear was of me. If I don't do it, I'm not going to make money, right? Because it's just the way it was. We didn't have any leads, anything like that. I think a lot of it also is you get so wrapped up in the sale. You're trying to get done. You put yourself on a time crunch. You're thinking, I can't spend extra time to do that. Folks, you got to spend that extra time. If you have to add a little bit more time to your appointments, that's what you do, because that is the fuel of your business. I saw something here. It says here, I loved it when I saw, I think it was Sydney. She was, I love asking my families for referrals when I am doing their new policy review appointment because they are so happy with their new coverage. Absolutely agree with that. And I didn't touch on that. The thing about it was it got almost like an addiction with me. Chris, I would ask them after the sale, okay? Then I would, if they said, Scott, I need to think a little bit more, I would send them out a little, back then we had to mail things, right? I would mail them a little card. Hey, you said you might know of a couple more people. Here's a card if you think and I would have a postage page card. It was like a little postcard, right? That's what I did. Then when I brought the policy out, that was once again, I'm not going to go out and deliver a policy. I used to drive maybe an hour and a half to go deliver a policy. Am I going out there just to deliver a policy? No. I'm going to go out there and still be profitable. I went out there. Not only did I ask him, hey, you know, we did touch on a little bit about this accident policy, something like that. We'd like to get it going or whatever. But I asked for referrals because I knew once I got referrals, I knew what my profitability was going to be, just about what it was going to be next week. Right? I mean, if I got 5 or 6 referrals, once again, let's go by those numbers. I get 6 referrals. I'm telling you right now, at worst, I would at least set 4. Out of the 4, I'll sell 3 or 4. Right? My biggest case ever was a referral here at Cemetery. It was a $24,000 premium. And that was a referral. That's how you get these big ones. There's a trust factor in this, right? They don't know you, but they trust you because their friends trusted you. Guys, you hear this all the time. Oh, I love my insurance agent. He's the best thing in the world. They go out and talk about you. If something comes up about insurance, they go, oh, my insurance agent's great. Everyone's always got the greatest insurance agent, right? Because they trust you. Why are we not talking about that, right? Why aren't we having that conversation with them? And, you know, I had one of my clients, I kind of made them feel bad. They said, oh, Scott, I talk about you. I just talked to so-and-so. You're the greatest agent. I said, well, no one ever called me. You go, what? I said, well, I thought maybe they'd want to talk to me. Oh, well, I never brought you up. I said, well, I'd love to talk to them if I'm that good. You know, and we laughed. I know they felt a little stressed like that, but I said, well, if I'm that great, I'd love to talk to him, you know, and he started laughing. And I talked to him. But people will do that. They'll talk about you, but they don't go that next, hey, here's his phone number, give him a call, right? Or they don't even have information on it. They don't know your number right off. That's why we're very proactive on that and do it, right? And so, but yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of times, Chris, we get time crunched and a lot of times we forget sometimes to do it. You know, I've done that, right? I had an agent when I worked in Mutual Omaha. She was my top agent. And when she first started, I went into an appointment with her. We wrote a $2,000 case. That was years ago, right? So that was a nice case. She came out. She was going crazy. She goes, oh, my God, Scott, this is so great. I'm so happy, and blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. I said, so what else were you supposed to do? She goes, what do you mean what else was I supposed to do? I go, think about it. And she goes, oh, my gosh, Scott, I forgot to ask for referrals. And, guys, this is a key thing that I said to her, and this is what made her a top agent. I said, well, looks like you're unemployed right now. And the look on her face. And she goes, it'll never happen again, Scott. She ended up being one of my top people on referrals. She was my top agent. I gave her $11,000 that year, $11,000 bonus, a check that back then, that was huge. I mean, she literally was emotional, but she told me, she said, Scott, that was the greatest, but the biggest failure she did in an appointment. The failure was not getting those referrals, but the great part of it was making that sale. But she said, I agree, Scott. She was, when you said I was unemployed, she was like, I understood that. So that's what's so important. We do have leads here. Like Chris is saying, we got them. They're here, right? But I'm telling you right now, think about this. If you go out there, Stacy, and you go out there and you buy a lead for 36 bucks, 40 bucks, whatever it is, you take that $40 and then you go out there and you get 4 referrals and you make 3 more sales and you made a sales on that lead. And let's say this thing adds up to about $4,000 in premium on a $36 lead. What the heck's the profitability on that one? Instead of being that one-hit wonder, right? We tend to do that with leads. We go out, we make a sale, and then we get out, right? We don't even do multi-sales, which I talk about. We should be writing 2 or 3 apps in there. I tell you right now, I've got a young lady right now who just hit her second month in AO. She had, I think, 103% issue paid on writing over 30,000. And I looked at her selection of products. Out of the 20, she wrote 20 applications, 10 of them was accident policies. Out of that, those 10 accident policies, it was a little over 3,000 in extra premium, right? And so, and her PPL is outrageous by doing those multi-sales. It's just, and so, but she gets it, right? But we're missing out on those multi-sales. Guys, just to sell an accidental policy, I do this. I'll say, oh, by the way, Donna, the beauty of this is it'll cover you for $200,000, but we have a double indemnity on this that if you die of an accident, it's going to double. So I know we touched a little bit about, you might be a little bit worried about, you know, income replacement or something like that. That'll help you with that income replacement. And it's only going to cost this much more on this policy. Guys, I wrote a ton of Mutual of Omaha because I would write a Mutual of Omaha accidental death. And I would tell them, I said, listen, it's double indemnity, but it's going to come in with 2 separate applications. It takes me a minute just to ask a couple questions here, write it out. It's like a page and a half. And they're like, okay, guys, I used to write 10 or 12 a month. 10 or 12 of those. That's what I used to use to pay for my leads. And that's what I would do. But once again, here at Cemetery, I would ask for referrals. And like I said, my biggest case here, 24,000, was a referral, Linda. And, but once again, it's just asking them. And I think if there's anything, and I think you'll agree, Chris, I think the 2 things, and he brought it up, how it can increase, is if we do multi-sales, you're going to see a major increase in that. But man, if you guys start getting those referrals, there's no PPL issues. There's no profitability issues, right? You could probably tone down your cost. Here's the thing with leads. In all honesty, if you get really good at referrals, like I did, the leads should be just getting you ramped up. You should be able to start weaning yourself off leads and just be having all these referrals coming in, right? And that's ultimate profitability. So once again, I'm not saying, guys, this is, you know, go do it. You're going to be the greatest in referrals. But all I'm just saying is, give it a thought when you're talking with folks. Get good at it. It's fun. I had a lot of fun just, you know, asking these questions, and they would, you know, but the more you do that, and I think, Chris, I'm going to touch on this too. People say, yeah, they're scared because they think they're asking people too much or whatever. Think about this for a minute. If you're asking for people, they're giving you names. How much do you think they trust you? What kind of relationship are you building with them right there? They're giving you names. Maybe they bought 1 or 2 products from you. And then someone else comes in and tries to replace it. What's the chances you think they're going to go away from you? Very slim, right? I used to do this, folks. And this is a little trick I used to do. When I used to talk to people and I would sell insurance, I just didn't go out there and write a $250,000 20-year term and didn't know why we did it, right? Everyone used to do that back in the day. In the 90s, we used to call them termites. You just sell term insurance, right? Some term 50,000 is cheap, get out of there, right? That's what they did. Oh, not Scott. What I used to do, I'd sit down. I'd calculate pretty much what they need in insurance. And if it came out $246,533, that's what I wrote them, a $49,536 policy. So when that person would come in, they'd say, well, you know, we can do better than that and blah, blah, blah. Matter of fact, why, you know, what's that number for? And I had a client tell me this. She said, he goes, well, what's that? Why did he write that number? That's weird. She goes, you don't understand? He goes, no. He goes, she goes, I do. And he just went, oh. And that's when she called me. She says, Scott, I understand why you sold me that. He never told me anything that I knew why I should go with him. He didn't even understand why we did this. Why would I go with him? And that's what did it for me. All my policies, Mutual Omaha policies, were all weird numbers because I never rounded up. I had it just exactly what it calculated, right? And that's what was really big. That was huge. You know, for people, I was like, I think, Chris, I think it was like 97, 98% persistency on my clients. It was outrageous. It was outrageous. I used to get a bonus on that. That's how they used to do that. But just little things like that, because that's what it comes down to, is the trust, right? They understand why they have it. So really the key is they understand why they have the product, right? They understand the product. If you ask for referrals and they're giving them to you, they trust you, right? If they've got that and they got trust, ask again when you bring the policy. Or if we got products now that send the policies out to them, well, call them. Hey, I'm just making sure that you received your policy. Did you get it? Yeah. And then start talking again about the referrals. Hey, we talked about referrals before. Just curious, you might have thought of anybody else. You know, Stella, I haven't. Okay, well, let me say, you go play bingo. You know, who are some folks you play bingo with? I mean, folks, don't be scared to go right into a question. If you help them, that's one thing. Help them go. They want to help you. They're like, gosh, Scott, I can't think of anybody right now. And they'll say this, I feel bad because I do know people, but I can't think of, okay, hang on. Let me help you. And that's what I'll say every time. Let me help you. Okay. What's some kind of hobbies you like? What do you do? Oh, I do this. Okay. So if you went out tonight, you went there, who would you like to invite me? Who would you invite me to? Who would you like me to talk to? Oh, so-and-so. Okay, great. Right. And if they step there, well, tell me a little bit about them. Oh, and they will, folks. Sometimes I can't stop them. Do you know I've had Chris 3 times, and I've heard other people this happen too. I've had people go over and get their little phone book, and they've given it to me. The first time that ever happened, she gave it to me. I said, well, I shouldn't take this. She goes, Scott, you were fine. I said, I tell you what, let me write on this paper that I've taken this from you, and then I'm signing that I will return it within a certain time. She goes, okay. I took it back and I copied it. And then when I came back, I said, can we go through these folks? Tell me a little bit about them. But folks, don't do that. I have 3 people that's giving me their phone book. They'll say, here's the phone book. But I want to make sure I get it copied. I got everything, and then I'll come back and then I'll go over it with them. And I'll spend all day if I have to. I mean, I'll get it. I don't care. Because that is gold, folks. That is absolute gold. So you'll see things like, so don't be scared to ask. You're right, Chris. People are scared to ask or they forget to ask, right? I know it sounds a little goofy, me putting that thing around my finger, but you know what? Guess what? It worked. I like to think outside the box. It's whatever. And it was always, I would tell them, oh, there's a reason why I do that. And they're like, okay, what is it? I said, well, I make sure that I'm going to ask you a question after everything's over. They said, really? I said, yeah, once we get finished with you, make sure we get the applications taken care of tonight. See, I'm already doing a firm. We're going to do an application. Well, after we're done with the applications tonight, you'll find out why I'm doing this because it's that important. Okay. So we get the application and okay, Scott, what's with that? Well, the reason why I do that is I don't want to forget, like I said, is I like to talk to people special like you. I said, I really enjoyed being with you folks. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed being with me and I hope you really are happy with what we've done tonight. Yeah, we really are. That's great. So what I'm going to do is tonight, I just want to take a few minutes of your time and hopefully I can help some folks that you might know through the same situation, making sure that they get covered. So let me ask you something, Chris. If you were doing a barbecue this Saturday, who would you invite? Who are some fun folks? Who would you invite? Chris can think of someone right now. Right now he can, right? But if I said to Chris, hey, Chris, is there anybody you know that would buy insurance, that would want coverage like this? He just faded away. I mean, he's like, oh my God, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy what you did for me, Scott. I can't think of anybody. Or they'll say, I don't know anybody that probably would want insurance right now. I don't know if they're in that position. You don't want those kind of comments, right? Just who would you have at the barbecue? Well, I might have so-and-so and so-and-so. Great, tell me a little bit about them. Right? It's that simple. All you do is get names. You're not trying to find people that want to buy insurance. You're trying to get names. You're trying to have a conversation. That's all you're doing. Same thing with leads. Yeah, we get leads. They have an interest, but guess what? They're not sitting at the table right now waiting for Donna to make a phone. They're like, Donna, he's like, I know Donna's going to call me soon. I can't wait for her to call me. So I set this appointment, right? It's not like that. We know it. You're going to have to work a little bit even on leads, right? So this is the same way. You're just trying to get names. The difference between a lead and that referral is a bit of just that little bit of having more of someone have a feeling like they trust you a bit, right? Because once they give you those names, here's exactly what you need to do, Brad. Once they give you those names, then you'll say, hey, I'll tell you what, thank you so much for this. I appreciate you trusting in me. I will definitely do everything that I told you I'm going to do for you and then some to make sure that everything goes well. But here's what I'd like you to do. You gave me these names and I absolutely appreciate it, But Brad, let me say, would you mind doing this for me? If you could give them a call to let them know that I will reach out to them, I'd really appreciate that. 9 out of 10 times they'll go, oh, Scott, I'm not already going to do that. I'm already going to make that call. Folks, they do that. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. You're thinking, oh my God, they're going to call them. They're probably going to say, hey, don't tell them not. I don't want to talk to them. I'm telling you what, they are the best people I could ever have on recruiting clients. Because they'll go, hey, I talked to a guy, Scott. He was awesome, man. He showed me a plan that really helped us with the mortgage protection. We're covered. That way we won't lose the home. Matter of fact, what's cool about this is if I outlive this thing, I get all my money back. I mean, they start selling it for you, right? And I just want to let you know he's going to give you a call. Okay, so here's how it works out, guys. I call him. This is so common. I'll call him. Hey, Brad. Hi, this is Scott Mank. How you doing? Oh, yeah, Scott, how you doing? I just talked with so-and-so. They said you were going to give me a call. Yeah, I was just wanting to call. They told me a lot of great things about you. They said you're a lot of fun. Matter of fact, I told them if they ever had a barbecue, would they invite you? And you were the first ones they were going to invite. They said you were a lot of fun. I mean, I do this stuff, right? Because I always bring up the barbecue one, always. So I know I never miss. And they start laughing. I'm like, yeah, what I wanted to do is kind of come out like I did with them, kind of visit with you and just kind of show you some options that might work for you. And not only do we do the mortgage protection, but we do other things. We show ways that getting people out of debt, 10 years or less, including the mortgage. And things of that nature. I mean, we show people how they can, invest their money and not lose principal of interest, both principal and interest, things like that. But these are other options we have too. And so I was just wondering if we can get together maybe Monday at 1 or Tuesday at 2. Typically, I don't even go that far, folks. By the time I start telling them we got different options, I go, well, yeah, Scott, come on out. When's a good time for you? That is, how many guys, how many times have you had that on a lead? Yeah, just come on out. What works for you? I never did, and I made a ton of calls, right? This is what you're going to get with referrals. Now, will I get someone saying, Scott, I'm not interested? It's a total different not interested. It's like, oh man, Scott, you know what? We've got an agent, we just wrote business. We really like the guy. Matter of fact, he's my brother's friend. I appreciate it. I mean, it's almost like they feel bad. So you know what I do? I ask them for referrals on the phone. I say, you know what? I appreciate that. And you understand how important it is with insurance. I get that. But, who would is there anyone else that maybe I can help that you might know? Maybe, I loved asking about you guys. I asked them, if you had a barbecue, who would you invite? And they invited you. That should make you happy. And they laugh, right? It's just, you're building that tiny bit of a relationship, and you've got that tiny bit of relationship when you do these referrals. And so I really wanted to touch on this, Chris. I know we went over and I totally apologize. I get pretty fired up on this, but I think it's just that important to let y'all know. I mean, if this alone, especially some of you that's been out in the field, this alone, if you're asking, your profitability is just going to shoot up. Right? I think the two main things that would be really important is get those referrals, but also do those multiple sales. Don't be scared to do that. Chris and I talked about that. I told him about how I used to do the gold, the silver, and the bronze. The silver was your basic. We make sure we cover the mortgage protection. The silver was the term policy with the accidental. The gold was the accidental, the term, and then also the critical period. Which one works for you? They always pick the middle one, guys. They always pick the middle one. Y'all know that's been right in business. If you show 3 options, they take the middle one typically, right? And so that's kind of how it works. It's the same thing. It's how you make your multiple sales. But other than that, Chris, if there's anything else, like I said, I apologize for going over.
No, I appreciate it, Scott. It's all valuable, very, very, very valuable content. And, one of the things I was sitting here as we were going through this and thinking, it's one thing for us to kind of get on a call like this and share this information. But, again, one of the things that I always talk about, anybody that I'm training, and several of you have heard me say this, is anytime there's something new, you always have to make sure that you don't just go out and try to implement it in your business without first sitting down and practice. So, what I'm going to tell anybody on this call, if you want to expand your referrals, because Scott came from Mutual of Omaha. I actually, maybe not everybody know this, but years ago, I was in with Prudential. Again, big old company, but they had a really good, referral generating script. And so I say all that to say this, that I would be more than happy and would welcome the opportunity to do one-on-one role play coach training with any of you who want to increase your referrals, and get that process more refined in your sales process. So reach out to me, shoot me text, message me, whatever you need to do. Let's get a time on the calendar. Let's sit down. Let's actually go through that process, and make sure you understand, what to say, when to say it, how to say it, and then how to transition to referrals. Scott kind of went through that, and it was great. But again, it's good to practice that and kind of role play through that. And let's do that. Let's put that into action for those of you who want to take every lead and turn that into 5. And make that a multiplier, a lead multiplier.
Yep.
So
and like I said, folks, well, not like I said, but I'm going to say this is going to be really, really important. What I'm going to be doing is on the hierarchy. This will be one of our, Chris. This is going to be one of the part of the leaderboards. I would love to know how many referrals y'all get, like in a week. Please give Chris that, Stella, who's ever your mentor. Get that information out because I want that. I want to know what those are. I will be doing, I'm telling you right now, of end of year, that is going to be one of our awards. And it's going to be a big deal on referrals. I know how big of a deal it is. I can promise you, if you win an award with referrals, you're going to win other awards. You're going to hit top writer. You're going to hit certain, trust me, you're going to, I'll tell you another one's where you're going to hit probably top issue paid. Because these people, it's going to issue. They're going to tell you everything about themselves. I'm telling you, you got that bit of a relationship, right? My issue was outrageous at Mutual of Omaha. And once again, we were different in Mutual of Omaha. It was about issue paid. I never knew when we talked about, premiums, we never did that. It was all about issue paid and we were bonused on that, right? That's how it was. That's, we weren't bonused like we are here. But it was all about issue paid. So I can guarantee you when we do this, and I can't wait to do that, it's going to be our new award. I promise you, who's ever top 3 on those awards will definitely be getting multi-awards because it all just stems from those referrals. Absolutely. You'll be tops with, like I said, issue paid percentage. I mean, it's going to be huge. And the profitability on this is going to be amazing. So yeah, Chris, like I said, that is definitely one that I don't know if you want to implement it, but I would,
yeah, in fact, I'm going to do a contest. It's been a while since we've done a contest. So we're going to do a contest for June. I'll roll that out later today. Keep an eye on Crew. I'll lay out the details. It's going to be based on referrals. I'm going to 2-part number of referrals gathered, and then number of sales generated off of referrals. We're going to run a nice contest on that, and really put some emphasis on that.
Yeah, let me know what that contest is, Chris. I may jump in on that too.
Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
Guys, that could be huge. And the nice thing about a referral contest is it doesn't matter if you're a veteran or you're brand new, day one. This is your first time on a team call. Anybody can win the referral contest. That's the beauty of what we're going to put together here. So keep an eye on Crew. We'll get that posted up here in a little bit. Probably this is later this afternoon after I get a chance to kind of work out the nuts and bolts on that. So.
And the other thing is, folks, if you're brand spanking new, talk to your mentor about hitting that new season agent. It's huge, guys. Like I said, we're doing some stuff. Like I said, if you hit that new agent, I need to know. You'll get lead credit. I mean, we're going to really, really celebrate that. Okay. Very, very good.
Awesome. Scott, thank you for the time today. I appreciate and all of you that hang on and for the little extra time. Hopefully that I think it's been very, very valuable for us to have the extra time today, because this is a very important subject and one that again has direct impact on your bottom line, and there are ways that we can take what is already just an off the charts phenomenal system and leverage this thing to the hilt. And this is one of the ways that again I think we get probably a little bit lazy on, and I'm pointing the finger back at myself as much as anybody, because I know how it is. I know it's easy to just grab a batch of leads and run and gun and kind of not slow down. But quite frankly, you're right, Scott. At some point, if you're doing this business right, you should be in a position where you're no longer buying leads, except on occasion when you feel like you need to fill in a scheduling gap and just need to kind of juice up your production for a given week or month. So very good. Well, Scott, again, many thanks for jumping on, sharing this content with us, taking over and running the show as my hillbilly internet crashed here. And appreciate each and every one of you jumping on the call today. So guys, let's go out, have a strong finish to the week and keep rolling for the month of June. Thank you all for hopping on.
Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend.